Hi, my name is Emily Johnson, and a little bit about me. I am a homeowner, a realtor, an investor, a designer. I'm a realtor with Sotheby's International Realty. I'm in Los Angeles. Um, and I hear people say all the time that they can never save enough to buy a house. And I'm talking about people who make $100,000+ a year and they feel like they can't save. And I just wanted to pop on because I say all the time, I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Give me 10 minutes. I will show you how you can save enough to buy a house. Quick disclaimer, while what I'm sharing here, it's, universal goal setting stuff. Every real estate market is different. So I know I'm on the Facebook, and if you're in Idaho, it's going to be different. I'm only speaking about my experience as a realtor in the Los Angeles market, and it is different from most anywhere else in the world. That said, I am with Sotheby's, and International is our middle name. So if you're interested, you can reach out, and I'd be happy to refer you to an excellent agent in your area. Okay. So today we are talking about goal setting to save enough to buy a house. And it really is easier than you think. In my experience, the single biggest stumbling block people encounter is their mindset. Just buying a house is not the priority. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying it is super easy, especially in the LA market. It will take discipline and some short-term sacrifice to get up and into a home, because just not many people have $40,000 saved up in the bank. And if you do, call me, because you can buy a house. Like, it's really that easy. But for the rest of us, you're gonna have to make it a goal and change some habits and make home buying a top priority. So I go into why owning a home, especially in uncertain times, is better than renting. I do that. I'm doing like a whole series of videos. For now, I'm assuming that it's better to be paying into your own equity than your landlord's. So once it becomes a priority, you'd be amazed at how easy it can be to save. Okay, so there is a very well-known template called the SMART goal setting template. Google it. You don't need me for that, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. All right, specific is the goal is clearly written. There's no ambivalence. Measurable is the goal needs to address the questions of how much and how many. Achievable, are you being realistic? Do you have the resources to make it happen? Relevant, how does this goal improve your life? Which is really helpful in the discipline part because you have the motivation, right? And time bound, does it have a specific date? Okay, and I'm gonna break all this down, don't worry. So let's just say you have a goal, right? Person A says, I wanna buy a house, right? And person B says, I will have saved $40,000 by January 1st, 2021 in order to purchase a 2-bedroom home for $800,000 so that I can build equity and resell it in 2 to 5 years for profit. Yeah, okay. So if you're person B, you are all set. You do not need this help. But let's help person A get to be where person B is, right? Because this is the SMART goal. And it's that easy, right? So in order to make that 2-sentence goal a reality, there is a bit of work that you need to do, okay? Because reality is fact-based, not fantasy-based, all right? And mind you, I am using a base level 5% down, $800,000 entry-level purchase scenario. Yours will obviously be different based on your needs, but $800,000 purchase with $40,000 down is possible in LA. So it might actually be closer than you think. All right. Okay. So number 1, be specific. What kind of house? And it might be a condo, right? Remember that buying your first house is not the own it for 20 years and bequeath it to your children house. That's like house number 3, all right? And we'll get there, don't worry. But house number 1 is a stepping stone. That's why they call them starter homes, okay? You are only meant to own house number 1 for 2 to 5 years, okay? So what kind of house? You know what? I'm not even gonna call it a house. I'm gonna say property, because you might not even live there, right? If you have a sweet rental deal right now and you're paying under $3,000 a month, stay, buy an investment, rent that out, and let your tenant pay both your mortgage and while you're building the equity, all right? But if you're paying more than $3,000 a month in rent, buy something. That's a mortgage. Your overhead might actually go down. Like if you bought a $500,000 condo, yes, you would still be in an apartment, but it would be costing you less every month. You can put that towards a down payment for your second home, and at least the money you are spending is, again, going to your own equity, not your landlord's. So, specific. What do you need? Beds, bath, size, area, not want. Need. Because need gives you a baseline, okay? It's something better than what you're living in now and something you would be fine to live in for 2 to 5 years, okay? The first house is a business decision. It's a tool. It is a stepping stone. Look at it in terms of ROI, which is return on investment, not your personal lifestyle. That's house number 2, okay? I'm serious. So number 2, measurable. How much do I need to save? This is where you really need to talk to a mortgage broker. And people always put this off, but just don't, okay? Because 50% of you are worse off than you think you are, and 50% of you are way better off, but 100% of you don't know because you haven't asked a professional who can actually tell you how much you can afford and how much you'll need to put down, okay? And it's super easy. You email them your taxes, a bank statement, and a pay stub, and the broker will tell you in a matter of hours what you can qualify for, how much you'll put down, how much the monthly cost will be, and then you can compare, okay? Measurable facts, not fantasy, okay? So once you know how much it can cost and how much you need to save, we can move on to achievable. Can you do it? Do you need help? Can parents help you? Does your employer offer matching funds? Have you asked? Because if you are an educator, there are down payment assistance programs for you. If you work at a studio, many of the studios offer mortgages to their employees. Some of them are 100% mortgages. Disney, I'm not kidding, seriously, okay? So once you gather the information of your resources, the timeline question, it's just math. How long is it gonna take, right? And if it turns out that it's gonna take you longer than you want, then consider reevaluating the other variables. But that is like a conversation, right? Okay, so when we talk and you say, you'll never be able to save enough to buy a house, and I say, okay, let's sit down next week and talk about it. And you say, oh no, I'll be in Hawaii. Now you'll know that that's why you don't have a house, because it's not your priority, right? No judgment, Hawaii is amazing. But once you have your goal clear and specific in your mind, the rest becomes so much easier. And suddenly that $6,000 vacation in Hawaii is 15% of your down payment. Maybe you decide to forego it this year. Or maybe you just decide no Starbucks every day. Okay, that's $5 a day. That's $1,800 a year. If you took that $1,800 a year and put it in an interest-bearing account, okay, you would have the 5% down payment on a $500,000 property, okay, like in 10 years. So that's not ideal, but it's not impossible. And I bet you can find more places to save than Starbucks, right? I'm sure you've seen how much less you are spending since March by not going out to dinner every night or spending $300 on drinks with friends. That's why right now is perfect. It's a perfect time. You're already saving, so just capitalize on it. Take this quarantine time to set yourself up to be ready to go, okay? It's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain, all right? It's called delayed gratification, and Americans are pretty bad at it, but not you. You are gonna crush it, okay? So if you do nothing else, just getting those answers to those specific questions will get you closer to buying a house than you have ever been before, because you will know what's possible, right? And we love to dwell on the possibility, but rely on the facts, right? Okay, so SMART goal recap. Be no more than 2 to 3 sentences. Be specific. Include exactly what needs to be accomplished and a time frame. Write it down. Share it with me on Facebook or Instagram at The Loved House LA. Reach out to me directly, okay? I will be your accountability coach. But seriously, I love goal sharing, and I want everyone to be home strong, because owning a home provides a security and options, truly options, that renting just, it doesn't. It can't. Okay, that's for another time. All right, until we meet again, be well.